Hello and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Jade Global today for the webinar on Oracle Fusion Account Receivables and Payables Cloud Services. My name is Sangeeta Jash and I am the Marketing Manager at Jade Global and also your moderator today for this webinar. We have Vinayak Jindam here with us to discuss this topic in more detail. I wanted to cover some logistics on how to operate the control panel in case you are not familiar with it, so that we can interact with you during the presentation. You can expand or collapse the attendee control panes by clicking on plus or minus on the upper left side of each pane to access the different features such as the questions panel. Upon joining the webinar, you'll have noticed that your phone lines are on mute. If you would like to ask us something, you can either type a question into the question box and click send, or you can click on the small raise hand icon at top left, and this will indicate us that you would like to ask us a question verbally, and we can go ahead and open your line so that we can continue with the presentation on today's topic. Now I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Vinayak. Vinayak Jindam is a lead consultant at J Global. He has more than 12 years of Oracle application and IT experience. He has been involved in the designing and developing of different Oracle applications projects, including R12, Fusion Financials, and integration projects. I'll hand it over to Vinayak now, who will review the agenda and continue with the presentation. Over to you, Vinayak.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining this webinar. Today, for this webinar's agenda, I'm going to talk about the Fusion Financial Cloud Service, and we're going to see the new features available in Fusion Account Receivables and in Account Payables, and we'll end up with a question and answer session. So let's take a look. Before I talk about new features in Fusion Financial Cloud Service, I want to spend 2 to 3 minutes time in understanding what Fusion Financial Cloud Service is. So Fusion Financial Cloud Service is part of Oracle Fusion application, which is completely open, standard-based enterprise application that functions in the cloud via web browser. So what does it mean is whenever you sign up for cloud service, you can access your Fusion application through any web browser, which is actually on the cloud environment. Fusion Financial Cloud Service helps you to improve performance, lower your IT cost, and gives you the better results, whether you choose a single module or a product family or an entire suite. So we'll see in the upcoming slides what does actually it means improving performance or lowering your IT cost and gives you the better results. So we'll see the new features in the upcoming slides, and that will tell you how Fusion Financials help you to bring down your IT cost and with the good results. Fusion Financial Cloud Service, you can implement this application by traditional on-premise implementation approach, or you can implement using a cloud service environment. So the pictures here, what you see is like your cloud environment is actually implemented on an on-premise environment, which is a dedicated server at your place, or you can sign up with Oracle to implement a cloud in a cloud environment implementation. If your Fusion application and database are actually deployed in the cloud environment, that can be portable and it can be easily moved from a private cloud environment or to an on-premise environment. So if you plan to switch from cloud environment to on-premise or on-premise to cloud environment, you can easily do that. So these are the few modules available, like in R2L, the same modules are available in Fusion Financial Applications also. Like you have here a general ledger, account payables, payment and collection, asset management, account receivables, cash and expense management, and there are some common tools. And these common tools are nothing but like your tax manager, your subledger accounting, like this, they are included in the common modules. All right. So now let's take a look at the new features on the Fusion Financial Account Receivables, whatever the new features are available. So I have highlighted here a couple of new features in detail. There are more, of course, there are more beyond than these features, but I'm going to talk about in little bit details about these new features. The first one is Smart Receipt. So like in R2L, even Fusion Receivables continues to support auto logbox, but they have enhanced to apply the receipts automatically using the Smart Receipt functionality. The Smart Receipt functionality is extended to those receipts that are created manually in the system or uploaded through a Excel based. So in general, Smart Receipt uses payment information to apply receipts. It recommends the best potential match for reception. It recommends open invoices to prioritize and displays to the user based on the user-defined matching rules. Also, using a calculated scores, user can quickly decide which payments to apply and which exception recommendation to use. So all these things, all these matching rules and calculated scores are being achieved by doing some setups or configuring your Fusion receivables. You need to set up two options here. One is use auto apply and auto match rule sets. So here is the sample screen that shows all open invoices that are recommended by the system. So if you see the based on the configuration what you set up, the invoices, all the open invoices are listed down in the prioritize with a calculated score here. Now let's take a look about the configuration of these details with some example. So as I said, you need to enable auto match rule set, and auto match rule set has four major components: customer recommendation threshold, minimum weighted threshold, combined weighted threshold, and the days of closed invoice threshold. So the first one is customer recommendation threshold. This is a threshold that is defined in terms of percentage, where auto apply process adds customer information to the receipt if the score exceeds the threshold value. The minimum weighted threshold is also a threshold that is defined in terms of percentage, where auto apply process recommends the transaction for receipt application if the score exceeds for one or more transactions. And you have another one is combined weighted threshold. This is also a threshold that is defined in terms of percentage, where auto apply process applies the receipt to the transactions automatically. And the days closed invoice threshold, this is the number of days that you need to set up in the system where all transactions closed on or before the days provided to a threshold value. So once you set up these threshold values, the smart receipts will apply receipts automatically, or it will recommend all open invoices with calculated score to the user. So let's take a look by an example. Suppose you have these threshold values that are defined, like combined weighted threshold value, which is 75%, and you have minimum weighted threshold. There are three main components here: customer, transaction number, and the transaction amount. Suppose you define that as 20% as customer, the transaction number as 70%, and the amount matches 10%. The total sum should match with your 100% always here. And in your system here, you have an example like you have a customer number as 1001 and the transaction number as 10010, and the amount is $120. And from the log box, you get an information as customer number as 1005 and the transaction number as 1001 and the transaction amount 120. So there is an algorithm which is being used, 11th sense algorithm. Based on that algorithm, auto apply performs the following calculations. So for customer match, 1 minus 1 by 4th into 100% is 75. For transaction match, it is 80%, and for amount matches, total 100%. And the final score that is calculated based on the threshold value, what you defined here at the top. So 20% of your 75 is 15%, 70% of 80% is 56, and for the amount match, 10% of 100% is 10%. So when you total up, system will going to total all these three, and which is 81%, that exceeds the threshold value, which is combined weighted threshold, which is 75%. So in this case, auto apply automatically applies the receipt to the transaction. Suppose in case the threshold value is less than this 75%, then it would have recommended to the user that this is a transaction available, open transaction available with a reference score as less than 75%, say example 70%. Yeah. So that's how the smart receipt functionality calculates the threshold values, and it automatically applies to the receipts. So let's take a look at the screen wide how exactly the system recommends the open transactions. So suppose you have a receipt in your system, and you can query by an example with the receipt, because this screen has list of all open receipts, and you can query by an example, and that gives you the actual receipt here. So what you can do is you can click on that receipt to open up the receipts in details, where you have a receipt header information, and below there is a transaction list. So this receipt has these all transactions, open transaction available where user can go and apply manually. And you have a reference score also. It's not necessary that you have to apply the top first one. It's the user decision to apply any receipt, open transaction receipt to this receipt again. So what you need to do is you can select the receipt and you can click on that accept button and it goes and applies the transaction to the receipt. Alright. So moving next is Excel-based receipt entry. So the next picture is Excel-based receipt entry. The name itself indicates what this new feature does and how this feature is useful to AR users. Account receivable users. So using Excel-based receipt entry, you can create and update customer receipts quickly. You can also increase users' ability to process payments and remittance data. And also Excel is one common tool which is being used by any finance user. So users can leverage Excel functionality and there is no special training required to learn or understand how to use Excel. So all you need to open the Excel template and the columns in the template are all self-explanatory. Maybe the user need to spend few minutes to understand the template and they can prepare the file and upload it into the system by themselves to create the receipts and apply automatically. And also the users can use this spreadsheet for review purpose and for approval purpose. So you can maintain this Excel for future purposes also and proceed with the creating receipts in the systems through an Excel upload. So let's take a look screen-wise what are the steps that are involved to create the receipts. So if you see, if you log into the Fusion Receivables, on the left-hand side you'll see the receipt task where you'll see a create receipts in spreadsheet. And once you click on the receipt, it will open up this template with all the columns. You can enter the information, your receipt information based on the column definition. And of course, before you log into, before this Excel's open up, system will ask you to log in with your user ID and password just for security purpose. And on the right hand side, top right hand side, you'll see the control amounts and the control count. So it gives you the total list of receipts that are at the bottom and the total amount that has the bottom line. So once you upload this receipt, this Excel file to the system, you can make sure all the receipts are loaded successfully into the system. So on the top left hand side, you'll see a click button, upload. You can click on that upload button and all the receipts will be processed into a system with the status showing as the records are inserted successfully. So just one single click, prepare a file and you end up going and creating receipts into the system. So like in old days, what you need to do, either you have to develop some custom solution to integrate all the receipts into the system, or an AR user has to open few receivables modules and enter all receipts and apply manually. So it's a time-consuming process like in R2L in old days. Now it is all with one single click, prepare a file and proceed. So there is a lot of performance improvement. There is no IT involvement here, and which brings down your IT cost. So once the receipt file gets uploaded, you can again go to your Fusion application. You can see the batch number, what you gave at the time of uploading the file, and you can ensure the count, the control count matches with your actual count and the control amount matches with your actual amount. So when you click on that batch, it opens up with the header information and the line information, and this receipt is not yet posted. So you need to post this receipt in order to apply the invoices against this receipt. Alright, so let's move to the next feature, which is receivables to general ledger reconciliation. So this feature helps user to quickly reconcile receivables to general ledger to close the books faster. This is a report that ensures the receivables activity is properly captured and reflected into a financial results. All the exceptions in this reports are automatically identified, and you can investigate quickly for all the differences in balances with drill down. Also, you can export this report to an Excel and maintain for future purpose. Like if you have seen, like in old days, like in R2L, there are several reports need to be run, like your period close subledger exception report and your trial balance account report, and and the user end up trying to match why the differences is why the your subledger, your receivables are not matching with your GL, and you end up investigating and spending a lot of time. But this report is available in Fusion, where just run this report and get the information. And there are 3 columns, like in this report, as I said, it has subledger information, it has GL information, and it has a difference column. And wherever the differences are there, it shows in red color. You can just click on that and drill down and see which all the transactions at the subledger sides are not actually reconciling with your GL. So this is how it works here. You have a subledger module. All the transactions from your receivables are flowed through GL, through a subledger accounting, and your journals gets posted. And then later you need to run a reconciliation report. Of course, prior to that, you need to run one extract reconciliation data, and which ensures that all your journal posted and all your transactions from subledger are collected, and it gives you the final report. So you have to make sure all the journals that are unposted state, you have to post them and then run the extract and then run the reconciliation report. We'll take a look about these features in little bit detail when we come up with the account payables features. All right. So let's take a look about the new features in Oracle Fusion's account payables. Yeah, the first one is out-of-box image integration for supplier invoices. So this is one of the good features which I have seen in Fusion Financials that helps AP user, account payables users to speed up invoice entry processing in accounts payables. Out-of-box image integration for supplier invoices features is available in Fusion account payables. This is not available in R12. So here, whenever you sign up for a cloud service, Oracle provides you a designated email account, where you can provide this email ID to your supplier and ask them to scan the invoices and email it to the designated email account. You can also tell to your suppliers to scan the image with minimum of 300 dpi, and the scanned file should be in .tif format. So this will help the scanner to scan the image and capture all the attributes from the invoice image. So in case your supplier is unable to scan the invoices, what you can do is you can ask them to email the physical copy, and you at your end scan the invoice and email it to that designated email account. So now, once all the scanned documents are available in the queue, the Oracle document capture. So it scans all the images and prepare a batch. So this batch is being used by the image recognizer, where the scanned images are read by OCR, which is nothing but an optical character recognizer, and then stores the image to an Oracle document capture. So you can have your scanned images are stored at the place in future purpose for any audit purpose. If you want to use, you can go and access them. And once this optical character recognizer reads all the attributes from this image, and it goes and creates the invoice into the system and notifies to your AP specialist that all the invoices are scanned and they are ready for the approval or they are ready for the payment process. So this is what the scanned invoices is routed to the AP users to review and submit the invoices for approval if the approval process is enabled in your payable system. So this is the screen where it shows the scanned invoice queue, where all the invoices with the invoice information and supplier information, it shows that the validation status as incomplete or never validated. So suppose if this image is not proper, not clear to the scanner, it's unable to complete that invoice scan, and it shows you as an incomplete. So you at your end need to go each and individual invoice, and if something shows as an incomplete, you can go and create them manually, or the one which are already created, then you can go and validate and initiate an approval process, which is exactly same as in R12. So out-of-box image integration for supplier, it reduces the transaction processing cost, and it reduces the data entry errors, and it eliminates to buy a third-party solution in order to integrate the invoices from your vendors, from your third party to your systems. It also increases the productivity for invoice approval and audits by being able to process the invoice image through the invoice lifecycle. So this is one important where AP user I've seen they have to enter all the invoices key into the system and end up spending a lot of time and also end up having user entry errors, data entry errors. But out of box image integration, there is elimination of data entry errors, there is elimination of processing cost, and you can make your supplier vendor payments as fast as possible. So the next feature is Excel-based invoice entry. So this is similar to what we have seen Excel-based receipt entry. So even Oracle provided a similar Excel-based template here to create invoices into a system. So you have one method to integrate your invoices using an image integration, and also you have another method to integrate all your invoices to your Oracle system using an Excel file. So you don't need to enter you don't need to key in all your invoices manually and spend a lot of time here. So Excel-based receipt entry quickly enters, and you can quickly import in errors using a familiar environment. It reduces the training cost, and also it reduces as a developing custom solution to integrate invoice data from a third-party system. So let's take a look screen-wise. Like when you log into your Payables Fusion, you'll see on the left-hand side there is a create invoice in spreadsheet. When you click on it, it will open up this Excel file. And of course, it will ask you to enter the username and password. You can fill up all this information and just click on that save and submit, one single click, and that's all. Your invoices gets created into a system with the status showing in the status column, row status column. This is new features like Fusion Financial Deliverables Information Driven Dashboard that are tailored for the different roles in the finance to help finance users to know what they need to do and what they need to know and what they have to contact if they have any questions in there. So once a user log into a system, he should be able to see what needs to be done and what's need to know and whom to contact. This configurable dashboard consolidate information from a variety of sources, actively monitor process, and puts exceptions to the users so that I can only work on the tasks that are important for them. Because all this information is displayed on the single page, user has to no longer perform a time-wasted search or access multiple transaction pages or run multiple reports to understand the priorities for that day. So this is the screen. What you see here, all the information are at one place, and you can access this information, and it's so flexible, like you can move around this dashboards, and you can customize based on your availability and end up having all at one place. So here is each individual screen which I thought of showing up you in bit details, where from the payables dashboard what you can see is invoice requiring attention. So you can see your invoices that are waiting for your approval, and you can see the list of pending approvals that are waiting for other approval. And you can see the list of rejected invoices, and the invoices are on hold, and installments are on hold. Or what other good thing what you need to do is you can export this data into an Excel, like clicking on here, the small icon where it exports the data to an Excel. So like in old days, like you need to if you want to run a report, you need to go and submit a concurrent request with several clicks and end up having a report generated, export to Excel, or format it or massage it. But here, just the screens click. With one single click, your data is available in your Excel. So you don't need to move around from different screens here, and all are at one place, and you are sure that what you need to do today. So similarly, you have a payment processing request where all the payment process that requires an attention that are terminated. Like if you terminate some of the payment requests, it lists down all those here, and also that payment process that are complete recently. And also you can have a stop payment request that can be viewed on this dashboard. Depending on the feedback from the bank, you can either void the payment or release the stop payment. Yeah, similarly, you have list of rejected invoices, and here you have supplier sites on payments hold. All right. Okay, the next feature is payables to general ledger reconciliation. So this is what we have seen in for receivables to general ledger reconciliation also. So here payables to general ledger reconciliation quickly reconciles payables to general ledger to close the books faster. You can investigate differences in balance by drilling down. As I said, once you run the report, the Excel shows it has 3 columns. It has sub-ledger information, it has general ledger information, and it has a difference column. So you can click on the difference columns if you see any numbers there, and it will take you to the actual transaction, why it is not reconciling with your system. So what you can do is you have a sub-ledger information. You have to ensure that these all transactions are posted to your GL. Your GL journals, all your payables related activities, GL journals are posted into a system, and you can run your reconciliation report where and this report you can export it into Excel and maintain for your future purpose. So let's take a look stepwise how this report is being run. So as I said, before you run this report, you have to ensure all your open journals, if you think that need to be posted, they should be posted first, and make sure all your sub-ledger transactions are posted to your GL. Then you need to go and run this extract reconciliation data for payables to general ledger. This is what you need to run for your receivables also. And once you run this report, the data is extracted, the latest data is extracted, and you can go and run the payables to general ledger reconciliation report. So what you need to do is you need to switch back to your BI reports, and this report is part of BI where you can go and run from there. So when you click on this report, it's under payables to general ledger reconciliation. Under that you'll see a payables to general ledger reconciliation. You can click on this report. On the right hand side, the report, it will ask you to enter the parameters, and then the report is generated. So this is what I was talking about. You have an account information in the left hand side, you have a sub-ledger information, you have a GL information, and this is what the differences is. So if there are differences, it shows you in the red color. You can click on this difference and it will take you to the detailed transaction, and the investigation should be easy and fast, and you can close your books faster. So like in the old days, for reconciling your subledger with your GL, you need to run, as I said, like you need to run several reports, match them, put it into Excel, do a massaging, and end up having a lot of time and spend a lot of time in terms of reconciliation, which transitions are actually causing this reconciliation issue. So this is how it looks like. You can go and export this report in PDF or in Excel, and you can do your massagings. So this helps a payables user or a receivables user to close their books faster and ensure their subledger amounts are matches with your GL amounts. Okay, so let's take a look at other key features and benefits. What else we have here? So as part of financial key features, you have a customer integrations also, Excel-based customer integrations in Fusion Receivables, and you have an Excel-based supplier integrations in Fusion Receivables. So this customer integration and the supplier integration, like it helps like whenever you upgrade from your R12 to your Fusion, all your customers need to be go and created into your Fusion. So this Excel-based customer integration helps you not to develop any custom solution, not to bring any IT team or IT person into your project and spend a lot of time, and it brings down your IT cost. So this is what we have done for one of our Fusion implementation, where we need to integrate all the customers and we leverage this Excel-based customer integration and free. to create all the customers into a system. And similarly, we have implemented a Payables fusion also, where we have used this Excel-based supplier integration, where we captured all the supplier information uh, from our R2L system and created all this into a fusion with just one single click. So as I said, the process is fast, the performance improvement is fast. You don't need to bring in your IT people here. So no IT involvement, no IT trainings required. So all are self-explanatory and users should be able to take it up by themselves. And also there is one invoice help desk, this is easily to answer to your suppliers queries and audit invoices or immediate access to complete the snapshot on an invoice. So this is one of the thing like which is not available in R2L. If somebody calls like to an AP specialist to inquire about the supplier invoice, so user has to switch several screen and drag and spend a lot of time. But invoice help desk which is available in Fusion that helps your AP specialist to query the information and answer all your suppliers queries and answer all your audit invoices. So the benefits what you see here is like you can close your books faster as you have seen in your receivables to general ledger reconciliation, and also you can create all your invoices through an image integration or through an Excel integration. So in that way, you are not spending time to create invoices manually. You can make your payments, supplier payments fast, and that's where you can end up closing your books faster. And also it reduces the transaction processing cost. So as I said, there is no custom solutions need to be developed here. So you don't need to bring any IT team. There is no IT involvement, and your IT cost is reduced. And also, since these are automatic integration, your data entry errors also goes away. All right. And also you can save on training cost and increase the productivity when handling large data volumes. All right. So this is what I thought of giving a few little more details about. Of course, there are three um, um, features which I have explained in detail. But there are many more in Fusion, and as I said, in terms of benefits or in terms of your IT or in terms of getting a good results, so Fusion is a good application. That's what I think. Okay, so the conclusion here is the Fusion Financial user experience is designed to help you to operate more accurately and efficiently, saves you time and money. The Oracle Fusion Financial user experience gives you what you need to see, it, and it helps you to get it done fast, get it done right, and works the way as you.
If you have any questions or want to know more about our solutions and services, then please call us on the numbers displaying on your screen right now, or you can also email us at marketing@jadeglobal.com.